Hello everyone, it's Melinda here with CatSmashPuzzles, and today I'm doing part 2 of the speed puzzling cruise on Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas in January of 2026. I really did enjoy doing the solo and pairs in the last video. I got to show you all that competition footage, and now I just kind of want to go over, to the teams event and this big puzzle, and maybe some more tidbits on the cruise. Again, I wish I had some more footage to show you. Alright, so we did the first day solo, second day pairs, and then we had 3 days between them and the teams event. So the first day we went to Roatan, Honduras, and my boyfriend and I had an excursion. We went and did zip lining. We saw some monkeys. We went ATV buggy riding, which was very muddy, like a lot of mud. I was not expecting that much mud. And then we went to a private beach where we just kind of hung out, and there was a guy renting out jet skis where we actually did ride a jet ski. That was terrifying, but it was a lot of fun. I have never been on a jet ski that fast. And then in Costa Maya, the next port we went to, unfortunately, our excursion got canceled because of lack of participation, and so we had to quickly book another one, which was through the cruise line, and it was the Mayan ruins. We got to go see the pyramids, and it was very beautiful. I was very happy to see. I love seeing ruins. It's one of my favorite things to see. It was one of my favorite things in Rome to see, and I think that I really enjoyed just looking at all the pyramids, and you'll see some pictures of it at the end of the video. And I thought, oh goodness, I sometimes wish I could go back in time and just experience those cultures a little bit. So that was our trip in Costa Maya. We went back to the port, got a little more drinks. Not too bad on this one though. Got back on the boat, then we headed to Cozumel, which I had been both to Costa Maya and Cozumel before. This was actually Roatan too. So I've been to all 3 locations once, back in 2017, where I did another Royal Caribbean cruise with my family. And then this one, Cozumel, we went down a submarine. It's called the Atlantis Submarine. And yes, it took us down about 150 feet, and we got to see fish, and we got to see a few manta rays, and then they took us to the very edge of the island where it drops off 2,000 feet, which, if you have, I might pronounce this incorrectly, thalassophobia, which is like the fear of open water, you would be probably terrified, but it was so all amazing. I wasn't out in a diving suit, so I didn't feel like I was scared, but it was just, oof. Just imagine just this cliff and just see nothing. It's just blue, goes all the way down. And then we turned around, and they actually had a sunken ship there, deliberately. It was a deliberate sunken ship. It wasn't like an accident or anything, because it was mostly intact. It was mostly sitting straight up on the ocean floor, and it was just, again, I got to see a sunken ship in person. I'm not in a diving suit, no danger. It was very, very easygoing. We were kind of squished in the submarine, but it was a lot of fun. I was very happy to experience it. It was something that when I first saw the excursion, I was a bit nervous about. But I figured, you know what, if I'm nervous about it, I should go do it and try to face my fears. I'm not afraid of cramped spaces or the ocean. The submarine, how safe is it? It was actually pretty safe. I recommend it if you want to go try it in Cozumel, by all means. It was a great time. And they also took us there by boat, which was also kind of a fun little ride. And then after that, we went to Senor Frog, bought some things. I didn't buy any puzzles. I bought no puzzles on this trip because I had so many coming home with me, there was no need to. But I bought some stuff. I'll just put it that way. Cozumel was a bit of a crazy time. That was our excursions. And again, I'll show you some pictures at the end of the video of some of the excursions I did with my boyfriend. And so after that, we now had a 3rd day of puzzling. So after drinking, sunburned, beach, all that craziness, we have to go puzzle again. But it was fine. It was teams. I was not in competition mode. I feel like I am when I'm doing it, but it was purely out of fun. I was teamed up with Julia, who was my pair partner, and then we were paired up with Jordan and Kelly, which was a mother-daughter team from St. Louis, and it was once again their first time kind of speed puzzling. Now, there were 2 events for the team, and it was the 500-piece team And then there was the team relay, which I'm looking forward to explaining this to you because it was a lot of fun. And I did tell Jonathan he does need to incorporate this more into competitions because I thought it was a blast. Now, the team's 500-piece puzzle, I don't have it with me. I'll show you a picture of it right here. It was the Eurographics I Eat Puzzles puzzle of a cat. You know, he was bad. He ate the puzzle pieces. And Eurographics and I have a hit or miss. I don't like them for speed puzzling per se. I have like about 5 1,000-piece Eurographics puzzle over here I need to do. But, you know, I knew it was going to be a difficult puzzle, but I'll tell you my tactics, or our tactics anyway. And I did tell them, hey, just have fun. So, on that note, let's smash it. we did that puzzle in 31 minutes and 40 seconds. Again, this was the team with Julia, Jordan, and Kelly, and we did a great job for what this puzzle was. It was actually kind of a difficult one. There was fur with the cat. I believe Jordan took the White Ike puzzles text, which she did a great job on. Kelly worked on the wanted poster, and then Julia worked on the kind of the top and bottom borders, while I worked on the kind of the cat tree sides. I thought it was just the one side. It was actually both, and I didn't realize that till a little later. And then we all kind of combined our strengths to get the blue pieces done, and then we worked on the cat fur at the end. Now, in teams, Maddie and Elizabeth were paired up with a husband and wife team, Shirley and Frank, and they all four teamed up, and I believe Shirley is a blue belt. So combined, they did pretty well. I believe they got this under 27 minutes, something like that. I don't remember exactly what their times were. And I think that, again, Julia, Kelly, and Jordan and I were just trying to understand how each of us worked. They were a wonderful team. I was very happy to see we got it almost under 30 minutes, but it was a tough puzzle. I'll give it that. So, now, we kind of had a change of plans in regards to what we wanted to do next. So we were going to do the team's relay in the dining room. However, Jonathan thought it would be best if we tried our hand at this puppy. This is Puzzles on Puzzles by Karen Puzzles, 3,000-piece Ravensburger puzzle. Now, this is my copy. Jonathan brought his own, and this is not this is not his that he brought. I had this one since the Spooktacular because a lady brought 3 copies and said she had 3 extra. I'm like, I must have this. I will take that from you. But yes, we actually did. Well, we started it. We had a time limit. And again, there was about 8 or 9 of us working on this puzzle. It wasn't just a team or anything. It was, we had a timer, but we weren't trying to speed puzzle it. We were just trying to get it done in the time allotted we had. And I'll tell you this, 3,000 pieces is way more than a 500 or 1,000. It definitely just puts you in perspective of when you do the bigger puzzles, how much more time it's going to take. And I'll go ahead and run the time-lapse footage for you. So basically what we did was we sorted the puzzle. You have to. This is a puzzle you have to sort. You can't, like, to me, 1,000 piece you have to sort, right, basically. But for anything bigger than 1,000, it's a must. It's a requirement. And if you can't really see on the footage, but there is colors that are distinct. So the dark purple, the red, the orange, the light blue, but there is the scattered pieces all over the place. And then, of course, you had the paint fan to the left. You had the plates, the 2 plates, color pencil holder on the top left, and then you had some color pencils on the top right, and that tray at the bottom right where it had the succulent. And I do think we got most of it organized within 30 minutes. It got sorted. The border pieces got sorted, and then, I think Jonathan worked on the fan a bit. So I actually ended up doing the border, and my goodness, that border took me, I think it took me about 5 minutes, honestly, which for a 3,000-piece puzzle is not bad. So, unfortunately, I had to go to lunch, so that took about an hour. I went to have lunch with my boyfriend. We went to Johnny Rockets, so I had my delicious cheeseburger, and then I came back, full of food and ready to go. But we only had about an hour and a half by the time I got back, and we did our best. We tried to finish it. I think we got to about 3 hours and 15 minutes, and maybe we were about half done, I would say. Maybe a little bit less than that. And, the footage will keep going here. But we broke it down. We kind of had to be a bit artistic about it, but basically we had to have pieces of paper, and we kind of slid it under and broke it into sections. And Kelly and Jordan actually took the puzzle home, partially assembled like that, because most of us already had a copy of it, and Jonathan didn't want to keep it, so they ended up taking it home. So that was nice. They have a mostly halfway finished 3,000-piece puzzle. I really had hoped could have finished it, but unfortunately, because we had to move locations, it was just not enough time. I do think if we didn't have to move locations, we would have finished it. But alas, it was one of those things that couldn't be done. So I didn't film the whole thing. I had to go and leave for lunch, and when we moved it, it was just the battery was dying. So it was just one of those things that I had a little bit of footage for y'all. Now, this is my puzzle, and I will be doing it one day. It is going to be a difficult one. I mean, now that I've done part of it, is it count as a first attempt? I don't know. I'm going to count it as a first attempt. I didn't finish it, and I definitely did not do most of it. So that was a fun 3,000 piece attempt group activity. No time pressure, basically. We just were trying to finish it. Now, after that, we went down to the conference center again and did the team relay. So I'm kind of super excited to explain this to y'all. So, kind of like a pair relay, there are 2 puzzles. And in this case, there is a 500-piece puzzles instead of like 200s. So the first puzzle is St. Lucia here. And the second puzzle was another masterpiece puzzle. And I'm honestly forgetting the name of it. I apologize. But it was a 500-piece as well. And it was similar to, actually, it was probably more similar to this one. Had an ocean, a house in the corner, a lot of flowers at the bottom. So it was another masterpieces beach type puzzle. Basically, what the team relay is that you have, instead of one person on each puzzle, you have 2 people. So you're pairs on each puzzle. So we had the tables kind of squished together, and we both worked on the puzzle. So every 5 minutes again, you switch. However, it's not just you. So me and Julia started on the masterpieces puzzle, and Kelly and Jordan started on the boardwalk puzzle here. But we don't both switch at the same time. What happens is we individually shuffle. So I moved over while Julia went and joined Kelly or Jordan, and Jordan or Kelly joined me. So we would change pairs each switch. And we wouldn't all be in the same pair group. So me and Julia would not stick together. We would be switching out with Kelly and Jordan and vice versa. And so every 5 minutes we would switch. And so we all kind of got to work together, but at different points in time. It's kind of hard to see in the footage where we're kind of changing up. But I do think that it was a very interesting way to do 2 500-piece puzzles instead of like one 1,000-piece puzzle. And I'll tell you, this one was hard. I don't know why. This one threw me off when I ended up doing it. And again, it's a bit jarring when you switch it to a new puzzle. Now, like the first switch, I was still on the same puzzle. I was still on the masterpiece puzzle. But by the second switch, I was now on the boardwalk puzzle. I actually think it was so much fun. So I'll run that time lapse real quick for you, so you can see how it goes. Again, I think this was one of my favorite events of the whole tournament. So let's smash it. Well, that was a lot of fun. So let me break down what happened. We were doing both puzzles, and then the team, Elizabeth, Maddie, Frank, and Shirley, they were doing the same puzzles, and they finished the masterpiece puzzle first. We hadn't finished both puzzles yet. But me and Julia finished the masterpiece puzzle maybe about a minute later. And then we got switched. I was still off the puzzle. Now, real quick, I didn't explain this earlier, but if you're the pair, the two people that are not working on the puzzle, but your puzzle is finished, you cannot touch the pieces on the other puzzle. What you can do is tell the person, hey, put that piece there. You can point at it. And me and Christina did that in our pairs relay. Now, as a team relay, there's two of us, but there's also two puzzlers. So I took Julia, and Jordan took Kelly, and we both were pointing at each other, like, you know, we're both pointing it out. Hey, this piece goes there, this piece goes there. Well, the other team was still working, and I'm like, why aren't they finished yet? And apparently they were a little behind on the boardwalk puzzle, but much faster on the masterpieces puzzle. We got that puzzle done before they did by 12 seconds. By 12 seconds. I don't know how. I do not know how we won that. We should not have. They had beaten us on the masterpiece puzzle. We just had a few more extra pieces in that boardwalk puzzle than they did, and I think that's just what ended up, you know, and Julia and Kelly did a great job listening to both of us pointing at it. Go here, go here, go here. And it was just kind of frantic at the end. So we did. We won the team relay, which, again, was such a tight race. I think that's what made it more exciting. I really do think that making it so close on a lot of these pairs and team competitions, and I think that's what made it a lot more fun. And we got this 3,000 piece puzzle that we were working together, and ultimately I think that this experience was a great time. I hope I get to go on one of the future Alaskan cruises, because I really do want to go. I have never been to an Alaskan cruise, and I hope to do that one day. So I'm hoping that this video wasn't too boring for y'all. I know I talked a lot, and there's a lot of competition footage. I do hope that when I do these type of things, I'll do a bit better job filming a few more. So for prizes, I walked away with a lot of speedpuzzling.com coupons, which I will probably utilize for my groupie, which is the one I buy the four competitions a month. I will definitely be utilizing that. I also found out, because I won probably some of the mini tourneys this last year, I got some additional coupons. So I'm pretty much loaded for speed puzzling competitions in the future. Now, not only did I come back with a lot of speedpuzzling.com coupons, I came back with a lot of puzzles. I had a wonderful time. My boyfriend and I really did enjoy this trip. Well, I am filming this right before the first batch of competition from speedpuzzling.com. I did the challenge puzzle, which I did really well at, but the next three competitions are back to back to back. I am doing the 300-piece solo, the 500-piece solo, and the 500-piece new release solo. All three on a Saturday. So, a lot of puzzling going on. But I'm having fun. I enjoy this community. I enjoy everyone who participates, who has fun, who runs these. We thank you, Jonathan. You're the best. You and your family were wonderful. It's one of those things that I'm happy that I'm part of. I'm glad I found a hobby. I'm glad I found friends. I'm glad I found a community that really does treat everyone with respect. So, as for the speed puzzling cruise, we definitely smashed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.